be decorated, recognized in all colors. Present. All right, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthem by Mrs. Olivia Hill, and remain standing for the presentation of award. Attention to orders. United States Marine Corps. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal to Master Gunnery Sergeant Johnny E. Clark, United States Marine Corps, for service as set forth in the following. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as recruiting instructor, Recruiting Station Atlanta, 6th Marine Corps District, from 1 October 2008 to 1 September 2012. Master Gunnery Sergeant Clark has been the driving force behind Recruiting Station Atlanta for well over 10 years, during which time the station enlisted and shipped to recruit training roughly half the number of Marines required to man the 1st Marine Division. As the primary instructor for the station, he was a masterful trainer and directly responsible for the success of more than 1,000 personnel between canvassing recruiters, substation commanders, and supporting staff. His techniques as a teacher and mentor not only made many Marines successful, but developed them into better leaders, warfighters, and people. His wealth of knowledge in the art and science of recruiting made for many positive and lasting changes to how operations are conducted in the recruiting station. His influence on Marines of all levels has made his presence felt in recruiting districts all over the nation, so much so that many of the procedures he has implemented are now common practice in other stations. Lastly, as a man and Marine, he has set a sterling example of professionalism, work ethic, and initiative that is replicated by Marines of all ranks. Superior performance of his duties, as testified above, highlights the culmination of more than 30 years of honorable and dedicated Marine Corps service. Master Gunnery Sergeant Clark's initiative and dedication to duty reflected great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. For the President, signed, L. E. Reynolds, Brigadier General, United States Marine Corps, Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, and Eastern Recruiting Region. Certificate of Retirement. From the Armed Forces of the United States of America, To all who receive these presents degree, this is to certify that Master Gunnery Sergeant Johnny E. Clark, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Marine Corps on the first day of September 2012. Certificate of Appreciation. For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Gunnery Sergeant Johnny E. Clark, USMC. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. The Honorable Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. Dear Master Gunnery Sergeant Clark, the Marine Corps has been your profession for the last 30 years, and you have served with distinction. Many aspire to be a Master Gunnery Sergeant, but those who achieve it are few, and they must clearly demonstrate the exceptional leadership qualities we have come to expect from our senior Marines. You have reason to be proud of your most successful career. As a teacher to young Marines, a source of wise counsel, and as an example of those soldierly virtues we so admire, you have made a mark on the Marine Corps that will remain long after you have left our active ranks. There are many young Marines you have influenced who will carry on in the same fine tradition that has always characterized the United States Marine Corps. You have my best wishes for good health and continued success in the years ahead. Semper Fidelis. Signed, James F. Amos, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Dear Master Gunnery Sergeant, on the occasion of your retirement, I would like to thank you for many years of dedicated service to our Corps and selfless sacrifices to our country. You have done a tremendous job and will be missed. Your professionalism, efforts, and endurance have been inspirational during these challenging years and have set the standard for others to follow. As you embark on a new chapter of your life, be extremely proud for all you have accomplished. My wife Susan joins me in wishing you continued success in the future. Always faithful. Signed, Michael P. Barrett, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Certificate of Appreciation. Commanding Officer of Marine Corps Recruiting Station, Atlanta, Georgia, takes pleasure in acknowledging Mrs. Evelyn A. Clark for outstanding service as follows. On the occasion of your husband's retirement, I express to you my sincere appreciation for your dedication and support during his career. When considering a career in the United States Marine Corps, one frequently thinks only of the hardships in which the service member himself is subjected. Without detracting from your husband's own personal sacrifices, Marine wife deserves credit for her contributions. The long separations, the lonely nights, the moves after each tour, all demand much of the Marine wife. In addition to the service you continue to give your country, the support you have given your husband should be recognized. On behalf of the entire staff of Marine Corps Recruiting Station Atlanta, the United States Marine Corps, the Department of Defense, and this grateful nation, I express my personal appreciation and thanks for a job exceptionally well done, and wish you continued success and happiness in all of your future endeavors. Signed, Seth W. McCutcheon, Major, United States Marine Corps, Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Major Seth McCutcheon.
Thanks for everybody for coming. I appreciate it. My name is Major McCutcheon. I'm the commanding officer of the station of Atlanta. I've got a few remarks. Before that, I'd like to introduce my commanding officer of the 6th Marine Corps District, Colonel Paul Finney.
Good evening. One of the hardest things to do is to try to capture in a few words what Mayor Stephenson has meant for me. Fortunately, that's not my job tonight. It's Major McCutcheon's. But I will say a few things. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. First of all, when I look at it here today, I see the Clark family, the extended Clark family, the big Clark family, not the Clark family. I'm one of 9 kids, so I can appreciate that. But also the friends and family in the back, and professionals I've come a long way. And your fellow career recruiters, that really speaks volumes to who you are. What I want to do really, just really on behalf of the district, is thank you for your professionalism. I will tell you, your leadership goes well beyond the SRS. Your strategic leadership has been critically important for success of the Marine Corps. They say that real leaders lead change. And in the Marine Corps, that's pretty hard to do. It's where we're just not going to change. We're very well, we're very easy. So it really takes the best advice that you did. What's really neat to this thing called recruiting duty is we rely on our staff and skills. These things we call career recruiters. Okay? No place else in the Marine Corps. We have a mission that's really run by senior enlisted Marines. The rest of us have been out of here where we go. Our success in this thing called Marine is one of the best of our career recruiters. And the best advice to those who we count on to keep us in the right direction. And I want to thank you for that message. You did that. You've done a lot of things in a short time on radio because this environment's always changing. You were here for the big ramp up. I see some former commanders struggling here or there. But you're also here for the where now. It was always like that, that's been the place. You've done it. I appreciate really your personal guidance to me as we try to create how many career recruiters. That important job we're doing now. You've been an integral part of that process. And just you all, just your perspective on where we go. So again, job well done. I know it's been a quick 30 years. We talked about the circle tonight. But I can tell you, believe you have influence, not just this group out here. I go back to your bio. I literally, it's hundreds and hundreds of things. And probably not a better place to do it than right here at Jim, because I don't even know how many young men are doing things. But it's been tons. And at the end of the day, you all take great pride in your industry. But the fact of the matter is this Marine uniform is much better than the Marine wear. And we do a lot of national things at our side. But everyone that's been on this where's this recruiter to do with one thing. You got some right kids that can do it. And you've been about that. You've been out for a long time. And I'll be honest with you, I'm impressed. You're not leaving here with too much gray hair. But it's a job well done. So we have all the great conditions. Thank you for being you are for what you've been. You made appreciate this. I wish you would have the best of luck. Thank you all.
I'll try to keep this relatively brief. It's hard to encapsulate 30 years and 62 years on the planet. Something into that, right? 30 years of service. What I'd like to start with, to put this in perspective, is I'd like all of you to take a little journey with me back in time. The year is 1982. Let's talk about the 1980s. San Francisco meets Cincinnati, right? Joe Montana, the Lakers, Showtime. The Apple IIc and Commodore 64, right? Are the computers of choice. Fax machines are just really starting to work because we're down to 6 minutes a page down here. Coke decides to make a low-calorie alternative referred to as Diet Coke, complement Tab, their other low-calorie drink. The Marine Corps is still mounting all those weapons on Jeeps. Uses the M60 machine gun and is just on the way from the zip-up flak jacket. Side ponytails are big at that. Right? A lot of middle American men, so is the giant mustache, famous as Tom Selleck on Magnum. The afro is giving way to the box fade. The Adidas high-top sneaker with no laces, right? Big thing. I see some pictures. And then something that most of you may or may not know, he was actually a bronze medalist in the breakdance, national breakdance. But really, in 1982, there And then the second one was a 17 or 18-year-old young man from Sparta, Georgia. Little town of Sparta, Georgia, in Hancock County, Georgia, right? He walked into some Marine Corps recruiting office, or some Marine Corps recruiter went and found him, and he said, well, I haven't really been outside the state of Georgia, not even outside the county. Right? And maybe outside the house, I have no idea. Somebody saw something in this guy that nobody else in this room saw, right? But anyway, he decided in 1982, from small town Sparta, Georgia, to go out and to join the Marines. And for 15 years, he was a communicator, traveled all over the place, did a lot of different things. And in 1997, he came here, probably voluntold, like many guys out here, that you're going to come be this thing called a recruiter, and that's going to be really tough. You're never going to see your wife and these other things. And then crazy guy that he is, a few years later said, you know what, as hard as this is, it's something I think I want to do for the rest of my career. And 15 years of recruiting later brings us to today. So 30 years in the Marine Corps, which to me is just amazing. I'm at 13, and to try to fathom double that and then some is just incredible. But I imagine it goes fast. So how is he so successful? How does he do it? Martin Luther King tells us that the quality and not the longevity of one's life is what's important. And I was searching for quotes for the last couple of weeks now. I was honored when he asked me to come over to God and say something. And I was trying to figure out people that would be kind of right and fit him. And the individual I quoted there, well, none of us would probably live up to what he did. Johnny is close, man. I mean, it's close. The amount of impact and the quality of things that you have done in your life. I would have said this if you had served for 4 years or 30, or if you had done 50. There was never a question of why you were doing it. I've only known you in the last year or 30 years. Like a lot of guys at the end of their career, there will be a tendency to slow down. For those who are not here every day to see him, he has not slowed down at all. I don't know what he looked like several years ago, sir, but I mean, he is going full speed the whole way. And the quality of what you brought to the table, what you brought these guys is tremendous. It's something I just have to see. So what are some of those accomplishments? Just to put it in perspective for people that aren't in the Marine Corps and don't know anything about it except potentially knowing him. Since he's been here, either directly or indirectly, he's enlisted 9,000 people into the Marine Corps. Now to put that in perspective, the 1st Marine Division, which is one of our 2 major combat units, their full strength is 18,000. So he's enlisted half of the 1st Marine Division by himself. Put that in perspective. Because he started this 15 years ago, and based off of how people get promoted, there's a distinct possibility that one of you guys are here, please throw your hand up, that somebody in the room that's a 1st Sergeant or a Master Sergeant, he enlisted them when they were just a kid somewhere in Georgia, somewhere in Macon, Georgia, and now they're a 1st Sergeant. Now, what's amazing about that, that's actually only 1 rank below where he is. That's how many people he's impacted, how far up into the Marine Corps, and how important those people have been in the organization, and how much of an impact he's had from top to bottom. And sometimes you have to step back and understand it because you're around 1st Sergeants and you're around these people and you don't notice it. Think that he knew them when they were just Billy Smith or whatever, and now they're in charge of hundreds of people overseas doing good things every day. It's just kind of amazing. Individually, these numbers may be a bit wrong, but I can account for at least 6, if not 7 majors, dozens of captains, at least 100 gunnery sergeants and master sergeants, and I would say well into the hundreds, if not close to 1,000, staff sergeants, sergeants, corporals, and lance corporals. Just in the 15 years he's been here, he has trained, mentored, led, Brian shoulder. He's been a lot to a lot of people, and that's, I think, what makes him most unique. So how do you do that? There's a lot of good Marine leaders in the Marine Corps. There's a lot of good Marine leaders in the room. Most of which stand in front of me right now. All these young guys behind me. I mean, Nelson Mandela will tell you that a good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. You got both. You got both in huge numbers, and that makes it very hard to trying to say, well, where can I go with that? So interestingly enough, I went in a very similar vein as world leaders, and I quoted Tupac. He said, I don't see myself as being special. I see myself as simply having more responsibilities than most people. People look to me to do things for them. People look to me to have answers. And I thought that pretty much encapsulated everything you've done in the last 30 years of your life. You have wisdom. You have a tremendous amount of wisdom. I mean, Nisi may disagree with that. Your sisters may disagree with that. Professionally, you have a tremendous amount of wisdom. You got an intellect and intelligence that can see the problem in the near term and how that's going to affect us years from now. Your passion and your desire for this never take right. It's very impressive. But a lot of Marine leaders can say that. A lot of people that can say they have it. I try to have it. You trust that. Everybody doesn't trust it happen. I think what separates you from everybody else is that you have a tremendous compassion. In the Marine Corps, it's something we don't talk about because it's not manly enough, or it's not cool, it's not one of those things. What separates you from everybody else is that every single person that's worked for you, it's obvious that you love it with your whole heart. I see it every day. You know when to punch people in the face? You know when to pull a punch? I've seen you grab a guy around the neck. I've also watched guys cry on your shoulder. And most importantly, is you always know when to speak, but more importantly, you always know when to listen. And the most powerful moments I've spent with him is when he's saying nothing. Because I know he's already figured it out in his head. Most of you all can relate, right? And to me, what I've come to realize is that you're just a really good man. It just happens to be a really good man. The reason I say that is it's how I try to do it myself. I don't know if I do well at it, but if we could all be like that, we wouldn't have anything to worry about. Now, if you haven't seen that because you haven't been at work with me, when I really notice it is anytime I'm around you and your family. If you go spend any time, this is for anybody in the room, if you go spend any time around him and Nisi, you will see how he treats his family, and that's really all you need to know. It is absolutely a no-brainer after that point why he is so exceptionally good at being a Marine. You see her as a lovely, beautiful, tremendous woman. You have kept him around you through all this stuff. And I know his strength and what he does come from you, and it's tremendous. You've done a great job, and yeah, I know there's always a story behind everything. You guys raise tremendous children. You are an unbelievable role model for your boy. I'm more than fond of you, and he looks to you for that. You impact a lot of people. You're one of the best Marines ever made. And you're just a good man. So I'll close with this, and then I'll turn it over to him. If you've ever heard him talk, better 7 minutes, be about 3 hours. He was under 30 minutes, I'll lose in the bed. But the last thing, what I'll close with is a quote by the poet Maya Angelou, who said, I've learned that people who forget what you said, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that encapsulates you. It's been great to work with you. I'm proud to call you a friend. You're going to do great things in life, somebody else.
Ladies and gentlemen, Master Gunnery Sergeant Johnny E. Carter.
First off,
Lieutenant Colonel Jerome Macklin, Dr. Brian Bolden, who is the principal of the school. Thank you, Dr. Bolden, for allowing me to be here at your school. To my fellow movement instructors who are here, my career students, thank you for being here. You know, I don't have a lot of things to say tonight, but I wrote down some things last night and this morning that I'm going to kind of read off some things that I wrote down because I don't want to miss anything. So bear with me for it. Sergeant Major Keisha put all this together. I don't see nothing, but I know you hear some ladies, Sergeant Major. I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you to everybody that made